Hello there. Welcome once again to AM Online Television with your host Abdul Mahmoud, aka Great Oracle. This week, we shall be looking at thieves and the national affliction. Let's get started. In most societies, including the Nigerian society, thieves or villains are synonymous with dishonor. They are cautionary tales, stories, narratives uh, in our folklore that suggest that when you are a thief or a public thief, a petty thief, or a common thief, the infamy that comes with your name becomes an anathema to those who associate with you or who are in a way share some affinity or relationship with you, that the infamy itself brings shame, dishonor, uh, and if you like as well, some sense of rejection. But this is not the case today in our country as we know it. We have seen across the length and breadth of our land, of our people, glorifying, celebrating those who would not naturally want to associate with, even with a long spoon or a pole as long as the calendar here. It's important for us to address this issue so that we know where we are at in the grand narrative of the history of our country and the point, nodal, if you like, that we have found ourselves not only as a nation but as a people. Once again, the topic for discussion this week is thieves as national affliction, thieves and the national affliction. If you recall, in 2005, a then Nigerian governor was arrested in London, and when his house was searched, over £1 million was found in his home. This was in addition to thousands of pounds that were found in bank accounts registered in his name. Fearing British justice, this particular then governor jumped out of the country disguised as a woman. When he arrived the state capital, the capital of his state, Yenagoa, 24 hours later, he was received by a throng of men and women who celebrated and glorified his feat in escaping British justice. For the celebrating throngs, for them, his escape was a great escape and an act that shamed the repressive post-colonial system of justice of the British Empire. A few years later, in 2010, another governor stepped forward and, having been sought for by the EFCC, ran to his home country, to his hometown, Ogara, in Delta State, in an attempt by EFCC operatives to arrest them. The streets and roads of Ogara, leading in and out of Ogara, were littered with bonfires and debris, all in an attempt to stop the operatives of EFCC from arresting the then governor of Delta State. Of course, the long arms of justice reached him a few months later when he was apprehended somewhere in the Middle East and taken back to the United Kingdom, where he faced trial and was subsequently jailed. Having served his jail term, he returned to Nigeria to the celebratory throngs of the people of Delta State and of his hometown, Ogara. He was received as a hero. 2 weeks ago, precisely, another former governor, who is standing trial for a criminal arrest, for thievery, for massive looting of his state, Kogi State, decided to celebrate his Christmas or the Yuletide season with his people in Kogi State. This time, like the celebratory trunks that we saw in Yenogwa in 2005, in Delta State, first in 2010 and subsequently in 2016 and 17, highlighted the villainy, the infamy that our people have attached, to some practices that are not only shameful, but also highlight the another point of shame that we have found ourselves. The natural question that anybody would ask: why has this become a practice? Why is this so? In our body policy. I have two explanations for it. Perhaps the Germans, will readily come to our aid here. The word freed, is slightly long, explains the attitude of our people. People who show joy, who celebrate the fortune of those that they love, people who do not love them, people who hate them, people who are despicable in their practices of hurting the interests of the people, but who enjoy the love of our people, simply because our people love the fortune and the fame that they have found themselves. In a way, by loving the fortune and fames that these individuals have found themselves, our people imagine that these fortunes and fame are some possessory some possessory property that can be attached that can be attached to their person. That is at one level. Secondly, the Stockholm syndrome also explains why our people do what they do in celebrating and glorifying people who are not only criminal in their attitude, but exemplify, symbolize, those things that serve as an anathema to a people. When the people love their abusers, they tend to celebrate their abusers within the context of that love that they have for them. So in a way, you find our people who ordinarily should tell these thieves, waka, shege, these people extremely stretch their hands out and embrace these thieves and celebrate them as heroes. But also, perhaps there's also a third explanation. The elite manipulation of our people can also be said to be responsible for the two attitudes, the friend-fueled attitude that our people display, and the attitude of loving those who hate them, undergirded by those two words. Stockholm syndrome highlights the problem that I describe as a national affliction. When the people are manipulated on the basis of religion and ethnicity, what they do, they end up displaying performative rhetorics. These are big grammar, my brother, they're big grammar. I will break them. Performative rhetoric, ethnic performative rhetorics here refer to that ideal and idea that our people represent, by framing issues within the context of the ethnic and the religious. When a thief is arrested, you find our people appearing in the streets with placards, with cardboards, demanding release of these thieves on the basis of the fact that now our Pekin, now our brother, now our sister. And of course, they will ask the public as well, now your money the thief or now our own money the thief. Are we looking, will they look for money when lost or not? It is not your money, our people thief. So in a way, what explains the attitude of our people is those manipulatory politics that is tied to ethnic politics of our country. There's also a second tied to the question of manipulation. The people themselves misrepresent the conditions of themselves in a way that distorts their own reality. By distorting their own reality, our people are not concerned about the conditions that they find themselves. They are only concerned in representing the conditions and reality of those who hate them, who they now love as their leaders, all of these four represent some of those issues that undergirds this national affliction that we are confronted with. Next week, when I come your way again with a fresh topical issues, please stay safe, stay blessed, and Happy New Year. Goodbye.